Hi, Jen. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hot Rich and That Bitch. I am Mikayla J, and we are here with my incredible client, Paige.
Hello. We are gonna get hot, rich, and that bitch up in here, and I'm so excited. So
This is gonna
excited.
be
I
this is gonna
see
be so amazing.
Goddess said she's from Dallas. Hello. From Dallas. You hopefully are going to Rich Girl Renaissance since that is
Are you coming?
in
Yes.
Dallas.
Yeah, in Dallas. Get your ticket. You're gonna want to get your ticket after this for sure.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. All right, let's get into it. How are we feeling? Are you ready, Paige? I'm ready.
I am ready. I just heard my dog go crazy, which means my kids are home, but we should be good to go. We are going to, if you guys have kids, you know, it just gets a little crazy, but I locked them out. I'm in the basement right now and I locked them out so they can't get down here. So they should they should be good. But yes, we are ready to go. I'm admitting people in as we go here as well. But hello. Welcome to Hot Rich and That Bitch, which is probably my favorite saying. I know some of you are clients on here of mine, and I say that all the time that is like my theme. That is my theme of like the year is I am becoming hot, rich, and that bitch. So that is what we're going to talk about today. As Mikayla said, I am Paige. I have been a client of Mikayla's for what, about a year now? A little over
Over a
a
year
year.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have been working with Mikayla for a while, but I was a longtime podcast listener of Mikayla. If you actually listened, I have a podcast as well. It's called the Identity Glow Up Podcast. And if you listen to our podcast episode, you will know that I actually had internal beef with Mikayla because she said that your excuses are boring. And I was like, rude, you don't even know me. But I got over it. And now we are, that was before we knew each other. And now she's like my favorite person. So, we are so excited to bring this to you today. Most of you know Mikayla, and I know Mikayla is going to introduce herself a little bit more later on as well. But we really wanted to do this Hot Rich and That Bitch masterclass because I really feel like there's so many women, and I know the women that I've been coaching, and just in general, like online that I've been seeing, so many women have such big goals and such big dreams, yet they're manifesting the same shit over and over and over again in their business, in their actual like real life. Like it's so much fun to manifest a green light. Like it's my favorite thing to tell my kids when I go up to a green light. I'm like, I'm so lucky, guys. Like I'm so lucky. And I say that all the time, and that is fun. But like when you keep manifesting that over and over again, or like a front row parking spot, like it's not getting you to where you want to go. And so we want to help you be able to get to that next point of like, okay, how do we actually start manifesting things that we want out of life, that we want out of our business? And it's not just by doing the same actions over and over again and crossing our fingers and our toes and praying that something's going to go differently, because that doesn't work. And you guys probably can tell that doesn't work based off of maybe things that you've been doing. I know I have been there where I'm like, oh, well, maybe this time with that one more post that I do and the same energy and the same identity, it'll change something. And it never does. So we are so freaking excited to bring you the Hot Rich and That Bitch Masterclass.
It's gonna be amazing. I also love you just said crossing fingers and toes. I've never heard the toes situation. So everybody here, just uncross your fingers, uncross your
Across
toes,
all of them, all of
unlock your jaw. Anything else that's crossed,
them.
uncross it. No cross toes. If you cross your toes, you can't wear heels, and that's just not okay. But we are so excited to bring this to you. You guys know if you're a long-term follower, podcast listener of mine, Hot Rich and That Bitch is something I have been saying for a very long time. And Paige had the opportunity to come to Florida to my VAP day a couple weeks ago. And I gave everybody a sticker sheet of mine that has literal stickers of me and sayings. And one of them was Hot Rich and That Bitch. And she was like, this is my whole vibe right now. This is my birthday promise, my Hot Rich and That Bitch year. So we are really going to bring it for you guys. And what I want to see is not you manifesting, picking up pennies on the ground and free coffee. Like we're past that point, the beginning of your journey. That was really incredible, but we're further along now. I want to see you in my DMs being like, I manifested my investment portfolio hitting six figures, multiple six figures, $1 million. Like I want you manifesting things that are like, I'm a speaker on this incredible stage. I'm writing a book. This is happening. Like batshit crazy manifestation. So we've got to get you out of this routine of the same shit over and over and over again. Okay. But I want to first take the time to make sure that you're in the right place. Now, if you know me, you probably already know I'm in the right place. I'm in the right place, of course, in MJ world, but I want you to let me know. I'm going to tell you a few things so you know you're in the right place here. And let me know if this is you. Just type a me in the chat. You know you're in the right place here today in this masterclass if you are the leader in your life. You are the one who's growing first. You are the one who is telling your friends and your family, let's think more positive. Everything's going to work out in your favor. There's always a better way we can see this. You can work this for you. If that is you, you're that leader, the always growing person in your life, put me in the chat because that has been me my entire journey. I'm like, hello, hi, I'm going to be annoying because I'm so positive. I'm going to bother you because I know that you have this potential that you can tackle. I know that this is going to work out for you. Even moments that feel like, fuck my life, like, how is this working out in my favor? There is always a way it turns around. Okay. So if that's you, put me in the chat. I see lots of you are feeling like that. I feel like I'm a beanstalk. I've grown so much. I
I
love
love
it,
that one.
Monica. I love that. I love you, Monica. You know that you are in the right place. Again, keep putting me in the chat when this is you. When you are posting content online and you want to grow an incredible following for yourself, your personal brand, and your business, you want to be known. You want people to say, oh, yeah, she's the one who does that. Oh my gosh, she's the one with the incredible podcast. She's the one with that incredible business. I love going into her store, whether it's in person or online. She is the one who you want to be known and you want to manifest daily sales in your business. Okay. Because, like I said, we want that investment portfolio stocking up. I'm distracted by how good you look. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Okay. You are in the right place if you want to be rich as fuck. And not just for the sake of having numbers in your bank account and commas. Cool, great, especially if you're somebody like me, which I'll tell you a bit about my background in a bit, where you grew up really poor. Seeing money in your bank account is very exciting. But you want to be rich because you want choices. You want freedom. You want to live life as the version of you that you actually are, right? We all know, well, maybe we don't all know, but some of us know like when you're in a lot of financial constraint, you don't get to make the choices that you actually want to make. You are more in a box. And we want to be rich so we can be more of ourselves because you're an incredible human. If you want to be rich as fuck, put me in the chat, okay? And you know you're in the right place. This is my last one, I promise. Me. Okay, you guys are totally resonating. We're going to be popping off this masterclass. I hope you are ready. And Gia, your smile is just lighting up my screen. Okay, you are in the right place if you are somebody who means business during the day. Like you are the boss bitch, but then at night you're like dancing around your kitchen while you're cooking dinner. You're like laughing because you have tears in your eyes. I was like crying over Cheetah Girls yesterday for absolutely no reason, just because I was having such a good fucking time. I was like, I told my husband, I was like, I don't know why I'm crying. He's like, you're just happy. And I was like, this is just the best night watching Cheetah Girls. Like, I'm just so happy. But I'm like a boss bitch during the day, right? You are somebody who celebrates picking up pennies on the ground and you're ready to celebrate making 10K in a single day. Wouldn't that be fucking amazing? Okay. You are somebody who in your workouts, you're like, I am a freaking psychopath. I am going savage mode. I'm the baddest bitch ever. Like, you're just hungry for it. If cheetah girls, cheetah sisters. Don't make me sing. I told Paige right before this, I will start singing. Normally, if you're at one of my master classes, hi, Diana Lynn. I start with a song. She was like, do we do a song? I was like, I can sing. I can sing for you guys. But but you're just hungry for it. Put me in the chat. Are you in the right place? Put fuck yes or yes if you are not as much of a cusser as I am. Yes, yes, yes. Fuck yes. We are in the right place. If this is you, I hope you're ready to lock in. I hope you're ready to buckle up. I am calling the next 5 weeks of my life the Rich Girl Race, and we are about to race for the fucking hills. Fuck yes, of course. Okay, I'm glad you guys are in the right place. Now, before we dive in, me and Paige are going to tell you a little bit about ourselves so you know why the fuck you should listen and why you should listen to us on becoming hot, rich, and that bitch. So without further ado, I would love you guys to get to know my incredible client Paige.
Hey, yeah, anything Cheetah Girls, and I haven't watched it in forever. And also like your shirt. Now I don't think that's Cheetah, but I'm just like I'm like you're in the
Almost.
vibe. You're in
I'm in the cheetah girl vibe.
yeah. Don't want me to sing, but yeah, if a Rich Girl Renaissance, I will sing very loudly. And also Arlene said, imagine a Southern husband while I'm dancing Rich Bitch Kitchen. If I don't have a Rich
Oh.
Bitch Kitchen yet, but I have a Midwest Southern husband, and I was dancing in the kitchen before I came here. So I'm kind of living your manifestation right now, and it's amazing. It's great. Um, okay, so for those of you that don't know me, hello. My name is obviously I'm Paige, and I have been working with Mikayla, like I said earlier, for a little over a year. But my story started much earlier than that, and I feel like the biggest thing is that who I am and my identity has always come from the things that I do, right? And so I am a mom. I have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old. I'm a mom. I have a mom too. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist since 2015, so for a really freaking long time. I'm also a master certified life and mindset coach. I've been coaching for about 4 years. And the biggest thing that I do, like in my business, is I discovered this word, not discovered, but I really fell in love with this word the other day. I help women become freaking iconic. Like I'm in my icon like
Period.
year. Yes, I think you have a tattoo that's icon, right? Don't you
I
have a
do.
yeah, yes,
Um,
aligned. We're good. But like I want women to become iconic. And the reason that I say that is because I feel like there's a lot of ambitious women out there that are like I said earlier, going after want these big goals and big dreams, but they're not iconic enough to achieve them. No offense, but you're not in your icon era, and we need to get in that icon era. And so I really help with my coaching. I help ambitious women align with who they're created to be, like from their higher power, whatever you believe in, and attract the life that they were meant to live. Really living in like whatever kind of life, like we all have this different vibe, we all have this different manifestation that we want. And so my job is to help you create that by becoming hot, rich, and that bitch, right? And so I actually started in the online space, and what I am going to put quotes around fashion influencing because I am not a fashionista. But I was like in the depths of newborn. I had two under two. And I was like, who the hell am I? And what am I doing with my life? Because I love my children to death. But I knew in that moment, even though my whole life, all I wanted to be was a mom, I knew in that moment when I had two kids under two and they were screaming nonstop and all of that, I was like, this is not all that I was meant to be, though. This is not it. Like, I love them. I would do anything for them, but this is not it, right? Like, I need so much more than that. And so I went on this journey of trying to, what I didn't realize was find my identity. Find my identity. Like, I knew everybody was like, find who you are outside of motherhood, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't understand what that meant. And now I do, looking back on it. And so I started this fashion influencing, AKA just trying to show people the clothes that I had, except I like to buy clothes on sale. TJ Maxx is like my favorite place to shop in the whole entire world. I don't know about you guys, but it's like when I go there, it's like $300 a piece a time every time I go there. My husband hates it. I love it, so it doesn't matter. But I started out there. Then I went into that's me in Target, yeah. And then I went into network marketing. I did network marketing for a little while. Did not do great there either. I was not a network marketing genius at all. And then I became, by a very long story that I won't go through, somehow I manifested getting a life coach through the company that I worked with in the network marketing space. And I became a life coach as well. My whole life, I just wanted to help people. That's why I became a pharmacist because of the money. Let's not get it twisted. But I started out and like wanting to do something in the medical field because I wanted to help people. And so I was constantly trying to find that, but also trying to find my identity in that. And the thing is when I was in this baby life coach phase of my life, when I first started out as a life coach, I was like, okay, now what? I learned all the tools, and I'm sure you guys, if you guys are business owners, how many of you guys are business owners here? Let me know in the chat. I with the business owner thing, like especially when you first get started, it's like, okay, now what? I learned what to do. I don't know what the hell to do now. Like, do I go and look at everybody else's stuff? Do I copy exactly what they LLC official. Love that. Do I copy exactly what they did? Do I like, and I actually told Mikayla this not that long ago. It's almost like you put on this mask of who you believe that you're supposed to be on social media when you're coaching or whatever, all of that, instead of being who you truly are, because you don't even know who you truly are, right? You don't know who you truly are within that identity. And so I was like copying everybody else's strategies online, not word for word, but you know what I mean? Copying everybody else's strategies, pretending to be other people, like really trying to like fake it till you make it kind of vibes because I didn't see this like mom, life coach, wife, whatever, as good enough. I didn't see me as who I was as good enough. And so I had this identity of someone who wasn't good enough. And so was I creating results? Not great ones. Every now and then I would manifest a client. Every now and then I would get somebody into my world. But more often than not, it was just the same repeated stuff over and over again of like, a decent amount of people in my program, maybe like one or two, which was decent for me at the time, and then like a drop off. And then like maybe one or two people came into my world and then a drop off. Like it was this constant like ebb and flow, right? But I thought because my whole life I'm like, I gotta hustle. And I'm a hustle queen, don't get it twisted. But like I was in this masculine energy all the way where there was no, like I just thought if I worked, something would happen, right? It didn't matter about the identity behind it. It was just I had to hustle. I had to do what everybody else said I should do. And I kept creating the same results no matter how much structure I had or how much I hustled because I was still what I realize now is I was still in the identity of a pharmacist or I was still in the identity of a mom who had a side hustle as a coach. And that was my identity. So of course, I wasn't manifesting any of my goals that I had long term for my business because that was not my identity. That was not what my energy was at. My energy was I'm a pharmacist and I'm just pretending to be a life coach. That was my identity. That was my energy. And obviously, that is not hot, rich, and that bitch energy, right? And so I had to have this like breakdown moment, which I'm sure we've all had. I've had multiple of them, of like, what the hell am I actually doing? What am I doing? And I decided, thank goodness, to invest in I think it was 6 month coaching program at the time with Mikayla. And I've had other coaches in the past as well, but Mikayla has completely changed my life and completely upgraded like my hot rich and that bitch energy like quadrupled when just being in her energy and just being in the vibe. I mean, hell, just listening to her podcast. If you guys listen to her podcast, like it's insane, right? And so being in that energy, like I have manifested so many things, and we'll talk more about that later, but I have manifested so many things just being in her energy and feeding off of that hot, rich, and that bitch energy that she has and embodying it as my own, but in my own way, because we are very different people and we have very different life circumstances, right? And so being able to do that and basically she whipped my ass into shape. So I went into Mikayla's world having all of these ideas about what I wanted to create. I mean, I even wanted to do stuff. I'm sure you remember this, Mikayla, where I was like, I want to do stuff in person. I want to have all of this. I want to have these programs in person. And none of them worked out because it wasn't supposed to. And that's totally fine. But I still really didn't know who I was when I first enrolled with her. And that shift over the last couple of months of me like becoming this next level identity, becoming right now, I'm doing like a millionaire mind, like I'm becoming a millionaire in my brain so it can manifest into the real world. Like that's me right now. But this hot, rich, and that bitch energy identity, when I had to get in the presence of someone with an upgraded contagious energy and be in the room of someone that had that. So that way I could start to transform my whole life. I could start to transform my business. It's really easy, especially as someone who's ambitious like I am and who is a hustle queen, to think I can do it all by myself. How many of you guys have been like, oh, well, like even at home, your husband or your spouse or whatever is trying to help with the laundry, but they don't do it right. And it's like, I got it. Like that was me to the extreme in every area of my life where it's like, okay, investing in someone and going in like a program and being in person and having all of these things and being in that energy helped me create the identity that I am to this day. And now the identity that I have is a coach that works pharmacy for now. Yes, I have a doctorate. I like to say you can call me Dr. Paige. Yes, I have a doctorate. Like, yes, that's who I am. How or that's what I have, but that's not who I am. I am a coach. I am a woman that helps other women go after their dreams. And I'm just doing pharmacy for now. And having that shift in perspective and having that shift in energy has absolutely changed everything for me and has become like ultimately the pivotal point in my business. So that's just a little side story about me, but I think like the biggest thing for me is has been like the through line of all of that is just the self-awareness piece. Being really aware of like I feel like that's almost like a pillar of mine where it's like this self-awareness of really where I'm at now and who I am now or who I was at that time. And so I want you to get really clear on what the awareness, being aware of like what your gaps are, being aware of who you are right now and maybe why, what energy you're in right now and why you're creating the results that you're creating. And so I would love to, for you to think about like, first of all, what do you want your end of year to look like? What do you want the next, what we're already mid-August almost, like what are you wanting the end of year to look like? I'm sure you had all these big goals and big dreams at the beginning of the year, right? You had probably a vision board. Maybe you listened to a bunch of podcasts that told you what you wanted, whatever. Like, what do you want the end of the year to look like? What manifestations do you want to come in for you? So that's the first question. I don't think that we necessarily have time to like sit here and have you guys type them out. But if you want to type them out as we're going, you're more than welcome or copy and paste them. And what is like your current identity or your current energy right now? Like, who are you? What are your beliefs? What is that energy? What is that energy? What is that identity that you have? The fact that this is the last day of Lion Gate. I didn't even know that. I didn't know it was the last day. Yes, we're wrapping it up. Love that. What is your current energy? What's your current identity right now? Not who you want to be, but who you actually are, because I think that's a huge pivotal point to be able to be really honest with yourself about who you are, right? And that was me where it was like, okay, well, I identified myself as a mom, a wife, a pharmacist. Sure, I had the little thing with my business, that little side thing, but like I wasn't identifying as a business owner. And so I wasn't creating results as a true business owner. So who are you? And then what do you think right now about your content and your ability to sell? What do you think about your content and your ability to sell? And I know selling is like a huge, obviously, that's a really big thing, right? And I was even on a call yesterday and where they were saying that like selling felt a little weird. Selling felt a little bit like pushy. Selling felt like it was one of those things like give me your money, right? That's what people feel like. So, what do you feel, or how do you feel about your ability to sell and that feeling around selling in your content? Because content's huge. As a business owner, I think pretty much all of us are online business owners. That's what we do. Content is a core part of who we are, or not of who we are, but what our business is and like what we need to do within our business, right? Because the thing is that if you don't think that you're good enough, you don't know how, you're telling yourself you don't know how, which is probably not true, but our brain tells us things to make us stay small, right? So if you don't think you're good enough, you don't know how, you're telling yourself you don't know how, you don't think you're good at creating, the universe is going to say, yep, you're right. You're right. You suck. So let's not do that anymore. So then, of course, we're not going to want to show up and then we're not going to create the results that we want. It all goes back to the identity. It all goes back to what we believe about ourselves, right? And then the final question I had for you is, do you feel like the person that you are today in the energy that you're in and all of that, like that identity that we're talking about, do you feel like you would be able to create what you want by the end of the year in the identity and the energy that you're in right now? Do you think that by the end of the year, based off of who you are right now and the energy that you're putting into things, that you would, or the energy of like who you believe that you are, that you'd be able to create the results that you guys were posting about earlier? Becoming really, really aware of all of this is huge, because then we know where we need to shift. Then we know what needs to happen next. But keep doing the same thing over and over again, especially if we're not getting the results that we want, is not going to land us where we want to be. All right. Those are all the questions I had now that I'm done yelling at you. Oh, you're muted. I have to ask to unmute you.
I'm
Great.
back.
I'm back.
There we go. There we go. And these questions are super important, you guys, because if we want a different result, we have to go be a different human being. And that was something that I had to face, a very strong reality I had to face at the beginning of my personal development journey. And if you don't know me very well, hi, I'm Mikayla J. I was just a poor girl from Nebraska, literally, like on food stamps, living alone at 15 years old in the raccoon house. If you know, you know, my girls. And I had a moment where I realized like I had to change. I needed a new identity. I needed to go be a new human being. And what we oftentimes feel around our manifestations and what we want to get out of the year, what we want to get out of the second half of the year is that I know I can be hot, rich, and that bitch. I know the type of life I can create. I know I have all of this potential. I know I have this to give. I know I have the drive. Like Paige said, like you're an ambitious woman. But are you showing up as that? Is that the actual energy you're giving off on a regular basis? Because when I had kind of my like come to Jesus moment that I needed to change my life and change myself, I was like, I was not giving that energy. At my rock bottom, I was the most negative, pessimistic, low vibe, victimhood version of myself I had ever been, which is embarrassing to admit, but it is the truth. Have any of you ever felt that way before? Like, fuck, I'm in victim mode. I am being negative. I am being a pessimist. Like, this is not going to get me where I want to go because it's a little bit of a slap in the face. And it's not that you aren't good enough, it's that that energy isn't going to get you where you want to go. If I had continued being that version of myself, I would have never achieved the success that I have built and it has to keep evolving even at new levels. And Negative Nancy came out for a hot second yesterday, and we correct ourselves. Exactly. It's not something you're not going to be perfect. It's not something that's going to be, okay, now I'm positive for the rest of my life. Like we still have moments. You're human. You're going to have your shitty 5 minutes, right? But you have to take a look in the mirror and say, is this energy actually giving hot, rich, and that bitch? Or do I need to change that? Or what do I need to change? And even us opening up this conversation, you're probably already thinking of things that you're like, shit, that needs to change. No, my energy hasn't been a match for those manifestations. No, my mindset hasn't been a match. Maybe you haven't been negative. You're not in victimhood mode. You're like, no, I'm good. I'm in the clear. But have you been showing up as hot, rich, and that bitch? Or are you waiting for a result to click into place before you go be her? Because that is a huge thing that people deal with. You're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're gonna keep waiting until you take some control back, until you take your life back in your hands, you know? And Paige shared how she wanted to help people. She just wanted to help people, no matter what, whether that was her in her influencer era, being a mommy fashion blogger, or life coach era, pharmacy, like whatever. She wanted to help people. I wanted to help people take their life back. Because the way that I grew up, being on my own since I was 15, my dad was in prison, I was on my own. I could have easily been a statistic, and I did not want to fucking be that. Even when I was negative, in victimhood mode, all of these, I still just did not want to be that. I wanted to have my life back. We've all been through circumstances that were outside of our control, and you're just like, fuck, this is not who I am or where I want to go, and this is just not what's going to define me moving forward. And it took a lot from me to change my identity and become a match to become hot, rich, and that bitch. It took a lot from me to shift my identity. But when I did, I really did take my life back and it changed my life forever, right? And because of my upbringing, I always knew I wanted to be my own boss because I lived alone at a very young age. I grew up very quickly. I was an adult very early on. And because of that, I have a really hard time following rules, very hard time following rules, which made discipline really difficult for me. But that's a different conversation for another time. And why I talk about discipline so much because I had none of it. Okay. But I am somebody who has gone from having a negative bank account, literally getting food from the food pantry on my college campus, to running a multi-million dollar business. This month is my 8-year anniversary in business later this month, which is very exciting. a multi-million dollar business, 8 years, traveling the world, married to the love of my life when I never wanted to get married, which is crazy, and manifesting going from having only 900 followers on social media, which were just people that I knew, to over 120,000 followers across platforms. I have been in multiple businesses, and each one has required me to shift my identity in different ways. Thank you so much, you guys. I've been in network marketing. I was a travel planner for a minute. I've had a UGC company. I was a blogger. I did YouTube. I did the influencer brand deal side of things. I've been a course creator. I'm a coach. I've done the in-person things. I'm obviously an event host. We're all going to Rich Girl Renaissance Live. Get it in your head right now, baby. I have had a physical product business. I had a merch line, which was incredible. I obviously made my beautiful sticker sheet that I gave Paige that said hot, rich, and that bitch, which I'm thinking about making some sticker sheets for Rich Girl Renaissance Live because I just feel like we need that. And the point is, like, I have seen it had your picture on it. I wish I had one. Actually, they're on my laptop. Let me show you guys. These are my own custom MJ stickers. And this is literally me in a tube from a photo in a pool, like a legit photo I've taken. I need a car decal, Kelly. That's incredible. New batch of stickers. But the point is, like, I have been creating content online for 11 years in my various businesses all over the place. And every single one of them has required me to shift my identity, shift how I approach manifestation, shift my energy so I can be a match for the hot, rich, and that bitch manifestations. And it really made me like go from, especially from having a background in the kind of like influencer content creator space, it made me look myself in the mirror one day and I'm like, okay, I'm posting content like a content creator, but I want to be making multi-millions like a business owner. Who here, let me know in the chat. Do you want to make multi-millions as a business owner? Like, yes, please. I've made multi-millions and I'm like, let's 10 million, let's go. Yes, yes, yes. Right? And as Paige shared, she was doing a fashion influencer moment herself. And, when you show up as an influencer, it's kind of like, I hope you like me. I hope you like my outfit. I hope you like the makeup product I'm using, which my makeup is incredible, but still, it's not the vibe that we're going for. Like, hot, rich, and that bitch is like, I don't need you to like me. I like me. I have something for you. I'm going to change your life because I changed my life and I know who the fuck I am and I know where I'm going. So let's go there. And right now, a lot of you are approaching these manifestations in your business like this, like me influencer. Even if it's not directly in your content, it's in your energy. So let's evaluate that. Let's evaluate that. Are you showing up like I'm making money, five figures, multi five figures every month, multi six figure year? I'm making money as a business owner. I'm going to show up as being hot, rich, and that bitch. Are you doing that right now? Be totally honest with yourself. And we're going to give you our hot, rich, and that bitch formula today so you can start to shift this. So you can start to tap into what is that identity for you. So you can change your content, you can change your results. And so you can be hosting masterclasses, be on stage, write books, whatever your business success is going to look like, where you sit down and you say, I was this and this is where I am now because I chose to shift my identity and change my energy every step of the way.
Yeah. And I think I love the wannabe influencer thing because that was me. I was literally the wannabe influencer where it's like anything, they make it look so easy, right? And I think that in the beginning, we all start off in this like maybe not all of us, but a lot of us start off in this wannabe influencer type of vibe because we haven't found our identity yet. But if you've been in business, even for a hot second to know what your niche is, who your ideal client is, all of that, you got to drop the wannabe influencer act because that's not attracting anyone because that's all over social media. You have to decide who you are and you have to show up as that. So then that way people are like, I vibe with her. I'm like, even like with Mikayla talking, you sense a vibe. You sense like there's this like magnetic pull, right? There's this magnetic pull. And I hopefully my clients feel the same way about me too, right? Where it's just like, I just want to hear everything she has to say. You're not going to get that if you are in this like wannabe influencer vibe. Right. And so we have to get out of that and you have to be really, really honest with yourself. And I think that's going to be a core like thread through this whole thing of being really honest with yourself of what energy are you showing up in? And are you more of a wannabe influencer type of vibe? instead of a true respected cash, like she said, cash flowing in type of business owner, especially if you're wanting to make more than just a couple dollars here and there, because that's boring and we're not doing that here. So,
Ew, it's so boring. It's like, no. And we feel the magnetic vibe from you too, Paige, 1,000%. And it's just so important to drop the any wannabe energy you feel in your life. It's such a great question to ask yourselves, you guys, is like, where am I in wannabe energy? I want this manifestation. I want this next client. I want to, it's like want, rather than like, I'm gonna go fucking get this shit because that's who I am. Like that pivot alone, we could log off right now. I mean, we got a lot more for you, but we could log off right now if you just ask yourself that question.
yeah, exactly. So I think going in, like, what is hot, rich, and that bitch? And I would love to know, like, what that means to you guys. Like, when you were coming
Mm.
into this masterclass, like, when we were like, the hot, rich, and that bitch masterclass, what did that mean to you? Like, what was the first thought that went through your head of like, because I feel like it's going to mean a little bit something different to everyone, right? Because it's all about the energy, the vibes, the beliefs, right? This is and if you know, you know, I'm an identity girl. Like I talk about identity a lot, but this is an identity. The hot rich and that bitch girl, that is an identity. It's not a cute aesthetic. It's not just like this thing that we just like throw around. It's who you are and you show up differently when you are that person. And so when I think of hot rich and that bitch, I'm thinking, okay, hot, first of all. And this isn't just appearance. Although, like, I'm like, okay, how can I pick out my hottest outfit today and get people to comment on it? Get my husband to say something because normally he doesn't say anything unless I have a t-shirt and like ratty sweatpants on, and that's when he compliments me. And I'm like, you're so sweet, but
Such a man.
I know. Can you compliment me when I'm wearing something nice, please? So like I try to get dressed up in like my hottest thing, right? But it's not just about the cute aesthetic of it. For me, for hot, it's like she's magnetic. She is magnetic. She knows herself and she shows up as herself. She doesn't feel like she has to wear a mask, right? She takes up space. She doesn't constantly seek permission to be seen. As Diana Lynn said, happy, successful, and sexy. Yeah. And sexy can mean so many different things. Like you bring that like that sexy vibe of like, I know who I am. Nothing is more sexy than like a confident woman that shows up, knows who she is, and knows what she's about and knows what she's talking about and is going to say it whether you like it or not. Right. And then you have rich. So rich can mean multiple different things to me. Like I'm becoming a millionaire. That's rich to me. But also like this girl, the hot rich and that bitch girl, she expects abundance. There's no question about it. She expects abundance. I even have had to train my brain where it's like I'm in the basement right now, and the basement is essentially my kids' play area, and you don't want to see what's back there, but it is a mess. And when I go downstairs in the morning to work out, because it's also my workout area, I'm like, there's an abundance of toys, which means we are living in abundance. We are abundance. And I have to get myself to that point. But like, she is someone that expects abundance everywhere. She has a relationship with money that isn't rooted in fear. Like, how is your relationship with money right now? How is that relationship? You going on the money dates? You chasing after money? You getting pissed at money because it's not staying around? You treating it like a bad boyfriend? Like, what are you doing? Like, we need to have like this good relationship with money. That's not rooted in fear because Hot Rich and That Bitch Girl has a really good relationship with money. She also knows that she is capable of creating wealth. Like, there's no question about it. She is creating wealth, and when she invests in herself, she gets that money back tenfold because she knows and she has proof that money is always coming to her, that wealth is just her birthright. It's her, like, it's who she is, it's what she always creates, right? There's no question. And then she is willing to invest in herself and her potential. Again, because one, she knows that money is coming back to her, but also she's willing to invest in her potential because she knows what that can do for her business. She knows that that can create so much more abundance in her life, right? Wealth is her birthright. Exactly. And then, of course, that bitch, which is like my favorite part of it. So when I think of like that bitch, I think of somebody who has the audacity. Like you have the audacity to go do the crazy things. I live in a very small town. I was born and raised here. Okay. I like to say it's like a country song. All right. I married the guy that I played footsie with in history class in high school. He was a grade older than me. He wasn't even sitting at a desk. He was in a chair beside me. We love Chris. Yes. He wasn't even at a desk. He was at a chair beside me. And he was like 18 and I was 16. Nothing happened, I promise. But, but like it was just like not to me, nothing to report. No, but it's just like we grew up together. We didn't really know each other. Then we kind of like went our separate ways. We never really dated. We came back together, and now we have babies that are going to the same school we are. We live in the same town, like all of these things. And we live in such a small town, and my last name's Harper. So everybody knows the Harper name. Everybody. His dad owned a hardware store in town. Like everybody knows the Harper name. So to have me go out there and they know the Harper name in the small town, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to make $1 million. And I'm talking about this on social media. I literally have people come up to me in town and being like, hey, I saw your videos. And I'm like, oh, okay. I used to be like, you did? No, you didn't. That wasn't me. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm that girl. Like, I'm that bitch. I had to be audacious, I guess. I had to have the audacity to put myself out there, even though I'm in a town where everybody knows me. Everybody's going to see me. My mom sees my stuff, and I'm like, don't look, don't look. Like everybody knows, right? But I still have the audacity. I'm literally an audacious bitch, and I love it. Yes. That bitch, she backs herself. She backs herself. She makes decisions. She decides. That's something I talked to my clients about here recently is like, what are you deciding? The biggest thing is like the decision is everything. You have to make a decision and you have to go all in on it and you have to trust the universe, the higher power, whatever you believe in, like that is the correct decision. Yeah, quit sitting on decisions. Wake the F up. She makes decisions. She doesn't need everyone to understand her. She doesn't need it because she knows she's going to attract her people because she's speaking her truth. She doesn't wait to be chosen. She chooses. She's the one that chooses who she's going to be, and she allows the right people to follow, right? And when you embody this hot, rich, and that bitch energy, content is easier. Making money is easier. You don't make excuses like a victimhood crybaby bitch, right? We're not making excuses. And so when we're not making excuses, when we realize that our excuses are boring, then accomplishing our goals are so much easier because we're putting ourselves out there. We are not relying on the chat GPT all the time, trying to create all of our content, trying to do all of those things because we know who we are. We are in that hot, rich, and that bitch energy, and we have something to say, and we're not afraid to say it. We have the belief that we always have content coming in. We always have content flowing. We even have a freaking journal in our purse ready to go whenever inspiration hits, right? We listen to our intuition, we listen to our gut because we are that bitch and we know that we're going to have amazing things come to our brain because that's our girl, that's who we are, right? So you are able to create this dream life because you are showing up fully as who you were meant to be, who you were created to be. And everybody's hot, rich, and that bitch is going to look a little bit different. And that's something like I always struggled with when I would have coaches. I've had a couple coaches, and I feel like, even Mikayla's younger than me. I've had other coaches in the past that are younger than me as well. I'm 35. I have 2 kids. I have a husband. I have like a little small farm life. I don't live on a farm, but essentially there's corn all around me. Like I live in the middle of nowhere. And so to have these coaches that were like, oh, well, they don't have kids and they're traveling the world and they're making a shit ton of money. I'm like, where do I fit in? I thought that being hot, rich, and that bitch means they were traveling all the time and it was like no kids, abundance. Oh my gosh, like go do whatever you want. And like, so I judged myself. But everybody's hot, rich, and that bitch looks differently. And to me, that's being the hot mom that dresses really nice at the basketball game. I did that this past weekend. Dresses really nice at the basketball game and gets compliments, but is also screaming her head off to like cheer on her kid there, right? That is me, hot, rich, and that bitch. I'm showing up online no matter what. I'm not showing up as someone's mom. I'm showing up as me, who I am at my core. And that's attracting my ideal clients. That's attracting my audience because I'm showing up with the confidence that the hot, rich, and that bitch energy gives you. I'm showing up with that confidence. And so, who you believe that you are, the energy that you have, and your beliefs determine what you manifest, right? Because you're manifesting every single day, whether you believe it or not, whether you believe that manifesting is real or not, which if you're here and you listen to Mikayla's podcast, I'm sure you do, but you're manifesting every single day. You are here because you manifested being here. That is like, we are manifesting you, like we are part of your manifestation right now, right? And so you can manifest whatever you want, even by like a quick energy and identity shift. And I have to tell myself sometimes, especially in the beginning of my journey, of like, if I was starting to talk down on myself and I wasn't in this hot, rich, and that bitch energy, I had to be like, nope, not thinking this today. And even if like you're someone who wants to be more confident, who wants to be more confident here? Who struggles with confidence a little bit? Anybody? Type me in the chat if you do. And even if you don't, we're going to do a little exercise of okay, online. Yeah. So even just a quick energy shift, even just a quick identity shift of everybody, I just want everybody to sit up straighter. Sit up straighter, put your chest back. Like even that energy shift of like, oh yeah, I am that bitch. Like I am that bitch. Like that is me. I am her. Just by having that quick little energy shift, that quick identity shift changes everything. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about how to do that and that specific formula here in a minute. But I wanted to at least define what hot, rich, and that bitch meant for me. And I get very passionate. So
You guys, this is so good. Like, type in the, give me an emoji in the chat if you're like, oh my God, this is so fire. I also feel like a proud mom listening to Paige talk since I've been her coach for over a year. And I'm like, yes, go, go, go. Like, this needs to make the podcast. OMG fire. Yes. Who is loving this? And type what one of your biggest takeaways in the chat has been so far, or a reminder that you needed. I think one thing that is important to note too, well, one, I love her piece on Hot Rich and That Bitch is going to look different for everybody. Love seeing the emojis in the chat. Who needs to sleep tonight? Not me. I'm fired up. Yes, Kelly. Yes. Hot Rich and That Bitch looks different to everybody. And I love talking about luxury in my brand. Like, I love a luxury bag. I drive luxury cars. I live in a luxury apartment. But that's not everybody's version of luxury. I like material luxury, and I also love the luxury of time, getting to spend my time doing whatever I want, right? I love the luxury of making my own schedule. I love a first class flight, but that's what it looks like to me. And it gets to be different for everybody. So make sure you know what your hot, rich, and that bitch is. But I also want to point out, and this is something that could be keeping you in this cycle of manifesting the same shit over and over and over again. So, everyone, listen up, okay? Is that you might feel right now, I'm being hot, rich, and that bitch. Like, you might wake up in the morning and you're saying your affirmations, and you're like, yeah, I'm hot. Like, yes, I'm rich. I've got the abundance. Paige has got the abundance of toys. I'm like, I have an abundant view of the ocean in my apartment that I'm obsessed with, like, obsessed with. Like, yes, you're like, I'm feeling rich and I'm building wealth. And okay, that bitch, like, I'm going to tap into that energy. But has your definition of hot, rich, and that bitch been the same for too long? Let that sink in for a minute. Has it been the same definition for too long? Because one of the secret reasons why you stay stuck in the same manifestations is because there's no new era. It's kind of like you're just manifesting the same vision board over and over and over again. And sometimes that can happen because you haven't reached those goals yet, right? Like there's things on my vision board. If anybody has been here for a long time, I want a Lamborghini so bad. Don't have that yet. So that makes it on every vision board, right? But other than that, like there's other things that I keep expanding. There's new eras that I'm in. My definition of hot, rich, and that bitch continues to expand. And even if the definition itself, the vision for your life doesn't change, the energy does. Has your energy around it changed? Or is it just the same shit? Because when we're thinking about manifesting the same things over and over again, it's like the little things that all honestly feel so regular for you now. Oh, free coffee. Oh, I was at a bar. Somebody bought me a drink. Oh, my friend treated me to dinner, parking spot, pennies on the ground, whatever. It's the regular schmegular. And you're like, yay, I'm manifesting, but it's fucking boring. There's no wow factor to it anymore. And then you feel like, yeah, I'm being hot, rich, and that bitch. I'm embodying my next level self, but like nothing's actually changing. So have you been the same next level you, the same hot, rich, and that bitch version of you for too long? You've got to shift it. You've got to change it because that itself is an old identity that keeps carrying over, but you're expecting bigger results. Maybe you had that hot, rich, and that bitch identity, and you're like, I'm manifesting making 2K a month in my business. And then you did that. And you're like, okay, well, I'm still embodying hot, rich, and that bitch, but now I want 5K. And then you're like expecting that to change. And then, like, you might have a win, like Paige had mentioned, she would have times where there'd be like one or two people and then like it would dip and one or two people and it would dip. And some of you were resonating with that in the comments. It's like because you want another manifestation, but the hot rich and that bitch didn't change. But you trick yourself into thinking it is because you're like, well, I'm still embodying my next level self. I need you to go create a bigger next level self. I need you to go create an even bigger identity. You get to take those pieces. But when you think about, even if you're manifesting 10K months right now, let me know in the chat, what income, monthly income are you manifesting right now? 2K, 5K, 10K, 30K, 50K, 100K. What monthly income are you wanting right now in your business? All are welcome. $500, I'll be happy. 10K, 33,500, period, Monica. 10K, 15K. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so when you think about that, have you been approaching it with the same energy as making your first sale online? Are you approaching that with your first 5K in your business? Are you approaching it with that same energy? Because that, again, is the same identity on repeat. So then your self-image never actually changes. And what I need you to think about is I want you to take that number and triple it. If you said 10K, we're now at 30K. You said 33,000, now we're at 100K. You said 15K, now we're at 45K. Take it. Well, all right then. Triple it. Now I'm at 300K. Yes, exactly. That is the vibe, Paige. Yes. That is where we need to go because you shooting for 10K a month, she's got a hot rich in that bitch energy. You can immediately think about what that would feel like. But you at $300,000 a month is a different energy. That is the leap that we need to start having in your hot rich and that bitch energy. Okay. And you are right now just wrapped up in this same manifestation process. We need a new era. And a lot of people keep creating the same manifestations because that doesn't change. The self-image doesn't change. The energy doesn't change. So your beliefs don't change. But then your environment also never changes. If you were really honest with yourself, which, like we said, honesty would be a theme here. Me and Paige are very no bullshit. Okay. If you were really honest with yourself and you said, let's take 50K, we'll say 50K in general. You're like, all right, I'm tripling it, 50K months. What about your environment would change? Like if you were honestly actually going for 50K months, what would shift? You're like, okay, well, I would probably want to have a weekend away to strategize how I'm even going to fucking do that and what my business model needs to change. I need to get out of the house and be locked in, right? If you work from home and you've got kids and you've got pets and you've got the daily mess around, you need a new environment. You would go network with different people. You would go invest differently. You would be in a different environment because that new era would require a different environment for you. And what I want you to really understand is that your next little self, this hot, rich, and that bitch version of you, is screaming for you to reinvent yourself. Like screaming. She wants something different. You want something different. When we are bored, our manifestations are bored, and money is bored, and it has left the fucking chat. So we have to wake you back up because you're doing the right things. You're shifting your mindset. Maybe you've invested in some programs. You're here in the masterclass. You're showing up for your business. You're showing up for yourself. You're being bold. You're posting online even when it's uncomfortable. You're selling even if it feels uncomfortable. You're doing the right things, but it's not in the right environment, in the right energy. So we're going to walk you through a formula that you can start to implement today to completely start to shift this. I want to activate this in you of like, oh my gosh, okay, my energy really does need to go to another level. I do need a reinvention moment. I want you to notice that. And now we're going to give you the tools to walk through that step by step. Hello, beautiful Sammy. She has made it. She has arrived. Because I don't want you to spend another 6 months bored as fuck creating the same manifestations when you could be quantum leaping and literally be a completely different person by New Year's. Like, imagine Laura just popped on. Look at Laura's background. You could be on that island at New Year's, cheersing the most expensive bottle of champagne and be like, holy shit, everything changed. after this call. Everything changed after I shifted my energy, after I shifted my identity, after I went to Rich Girl Renaissance, after I fucking listened and stopped lying to myself, after I activated myself again. So I'm going to stop talking so Paige can talk. But this is what we need to realize. And we're going to give you the formula to start to shift this.
Yeah, and I think too, with what you were saying, I typed something in the chat about, when we were talking about tripling the income that we originally said, right? We automatically, I can guarantee almost every single one of you did this, automatically go to, how am I going to do that? What actions do I need to take? What things do I need to do? I don't know. How can I create that? That's not me. But like you automatically go into the how. And that's the problem, is because you're going into the how instead of what matters most, which is identity, energy, and honestly, environment, right? And so if we automatically go into the how, of course, who you are right now does not know how to make, $50,000 based off of the actions you're doing right now. And so you automatically think you can't, but that's not the piece that you fix right now. The piece that you shift right now is the identity and is the energy and actually getting in rooms, online rooms, in-person rooms, being in the environment of people who are going after the same thing. That's what changes things, right? Tornadoes here earlier. We almost had a tornado here too. You're good. You're good. Okay. So there's such an importance and power of identity. Obviously, I've been talking about it the whole time that we are here, that we've been here. But the biggest thing is that you're only a failure when you decide you're a failure. But the thing is that you're also only successful if you decide that you're successful. If you decide that you're a millionaire, that's when you'll become a millionaire. When you decide that you're going to make a shit ton of money, that's when you make a shit ton of money. The problem is that we're not deciding. The problem is that we're looking at it and being like, oh, well, I'm a failure. It's because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, you're a failure because you've decided that you are a failure. And that is an identity piece. That's not like necessarily an action piece, right? You say you want to manifest all of these epic things. You want to have the vacations, you want to have the trips, you want to have all of this, but you aren't changing your self-concept or who you believe that you are. And so if you're not changing those things, then nothing else is going to change. And so we get in this energy of doubt, right? How many of you had this energy of doubt as soon as Mikayla said, oh, 3 times the income you just said, whatever income you said that you wanted per month, now 3 times it. How many of you automatically went into like, holy shit, energy of doubt? Like, there's no way. That's not possible. I was stretching it with the first one. I was doing my like, hopefully with the first one, right? And so when you're in this energy of doubt, you're trying to force yourself into believing that this action in like the thing that you're doing is the next right thing to do because it's what someone else did. You're constantly looking at other people and seeing, well, what did they do? This person got into this or makes this much money roughly. So like, I need to do what they do. And you're not thinking about the energy of the identity that you need to be in. And so it doesn't work. And then it just reinforces the belief of who you are, which in that case is someone who can't do it, someone who can't achieve it, right? But what happens when you're in this hot, rich, and that bitch energy, which is like the energy of knowing, how good would that feel? The energy of knowing that no matter what you do, you're going to create a shit ton of money. You're going to attract new clients in. Like this energy of knowing, the energy of abundance, the energy of luxury, which I've been learning a whole new era of my life of like loving a little bit of luxury, maybe not as much as Mikayla does. I know Mikayla loves a lot of luxury, but I'm getting the energy off of it, right? The energy of wealth, the energy of course, I'm going to create my dreams. Well, after RGR, yes. Of course, I'm going to create my dream life. Of course, I'm going to find my dream spouse. Of course, I'm going to have this incredible life. Of course, I'm going to make a shit ton of money. Being an energy of course. So this formula, this hot, rich, and that bitch formula, it helps you become unavoidable online and in person, honestly, because it's basically, I don't know what word I'm trying to say. It increases this aura. It makes a more shiny, bright, sparkly, pink, bright light of aura of you, right? Aura maxing, exactly. You could be creating way bigger results right now if you follow this formula. So first of all, or I love that aura maxing. First of all, you have to decide what you want. We've talked about decision a couple of times. You have to decide what you want. What is it that you actually want? Not what your mama wants for you, not what you think that you should have, not what we want for you, but what do you want? Whether it's a dollar amount, a certain amount of clients, a certain amount of followers, whatever, what do you want? That's the first step. The second step is from what you want, you have to decide who you need to be. Who do you need to be to create that result? What is that identity? What's that energy? Who do you need to be, right? And so it's all about being her. It's the identity before strategy. So, yeah, step one, decide and be her. So, you have to figure out when you're thinking of be her, I'm talking about like not being someone else, but being the fullest version of you, being the person that you were created to be. This person that like deep down, like we all have this pull towards something. I have no desire to help people work out. I have no desire to help people eat healthy. There's nothing in me that wants to help people do that. Not because I don't care about people, but because that's I don't know. I don't even eat healthy most of the time myself, right? So that's not my dream. But I know there's a lot of people on here. I'm seeing a couple right on my screen. That is their dream. They do want to help people feel good about themselves. They do want to help people lose weight. They do want to help people with nutrition. That's not my dream. You were meant to have that dream for a reason. That's yours. And so yeah, Sammy was one of them, yes. And so we need to look at like who are you? Who is that identity? You need to have these beliefs around that identity of like my content changes lives. People want to hear from me. My audience is growing every single day. My clients are actively looking for me right now. So of course I'm going to show up because my clients are looking for me right now, my potential clients. It is about the beliefs, but it's also about the feeling and the embodiment of those beliefs. So I don't just want you to be like, oh, I believe that I'm successful. I believe that my content changes lives and then just move on. I need you to really feel it. I need you to have that feeling of like, holy shit, I'm showing up today and I'm feeling this. I'm feeling like I know in my gut that like this is meant for me. I know that like all of these people are out here looking for me, right? It's about the feeling and the embodiment. Are you embodying the beliefs that you have? Okay. The second one is show her. So we have be her, which is his identity before strategy. The second is show her. This visibility to create opportunity. Become impossible to ignore. When you're showing up and you're not your full expression of yourself, you're not your full self, it's really easy to ignore you because you're not shining bright. That aura, you're not aura maxing. We need to be aura maxing. You're not shining bright when you're pretending to be all these other people and you have a mask over you. You're not actually showing yourself. You're just kind of sort of showing up. So you need to show her. You need to have this visibility because when you have visibility, not just showing up just to show up and check off a box like we all have done. I know I've done that, but visibility to actually create opportunity, to become this impossible to ignore. So it's really about creating content as the woman who already has the audience. One of my favorite things, I've read The Secret a couple times now. And so Rhonda Byrne is the creator of The Secret. And one of the things that she says that just like got in my brain is you need to put on like an Oscar-worthy performance. Yes, my favorite book too. Oscar-worthy performance. It's not about faking it till you make it. It's about embodying who you know you're meant to become. So are you showing up and creating content, showing up in your business as the woman who already has the audience, as the woman who already knows that these people need to hear what she has to say? Are you putting on this Oscar-worthy performance, or are you half-assing it because you're doing just enough and thinking like, oh, fingers crossed, fingers and toes crossed, as I said earlier, this is going to help, right? We have to stop checking every post for validation. This next level version of us, this hot rich and that bitch version of us, does not check every single post for validation. She does not stop, like, she doesn't make every reel and like the outcome of that reel, the outcome of the post, determine her self-worth. She becomes the creator who expects people to buy. And she doesn't get pissed off if they don't, but she just expects it. Like, of course I'm going to show up online and people are going to be like looking at my stuff and sharing it. And like, even if they don't want it, they know somebody else who does. Of course. She shows up now like people are already watching because she knows when she shows up within like in this visibility and she becomes impossible to ignore because her aura is like all sparkly and bright and people are attracted to her. She knows that she's going to end up attracting the right people, right? So you have be her, show her, and then trust her. Trust her. Trust is huge. Are you trusting this next level identity? Are you trusting her? Are you trusting your higher power, whatever you believe in? Because they put that identity in your on your heart for a reason. The universe put that identity in there for a reason, right? So are you trusting her? Detaching from the metrics and staying consistent no matter what. Continually acting. I hate acting as if. I like to tell my clients it's not act as if, it's embodying until you become it. You're embodying this person until you become her in like the 3D world, right? And really allowing momentum to build in the back end because you know that it will, right? And then finally, the last one, and the thing that I've had to do a lot of within myself to become this hot, rich, and that bitch person is invest in her. I have invested in so many coaches over the years. And obviously, Mikayla has changed my life so freaking much. But but when you invest in yourself and you get in rooms that will take you to the next level, you're not doing it by yourself anymore. How many times have you done the same thing over and over again by yourself and think this time it's going to be different? This time something's going to change. This time, but you're in the same environment, you're around the same people, you're talking to the same people that don't understand your goals, don't understand your dreams, don't understand that fire, right? Invest in her is probably one of the key pieces because then once you invest in her, you can be with someone who is going to help you believe in her, help you be her, help you show her, and help you trust her even more. Trust her as in like your next level identity, right? And so those are the four: be her, show her, trust her, and invest in her.
This formula has the power to completely change your life. And I'm loving seeing the comments of like, this is waking me up. This is changing my life. Like this is it, you guys. Like just sit in that energy and like feel it. You can feel this way every day when you actually implement this. You're feeling it right now because you're hearing the activation in how Paige speaks. You're hearing and you're feeling her passion. You feel the magnetism from me because I'm just a fucking vibe and that's just what I do. And like you're in this room and you're in this space, like you're going to feel it naturally. And if you want to continue this energy, you have to take action on it. It's great to come here and feel like you're going to run through a brick wall after, but I want to see you like actually run through the brick wall and go do something on the other side, which takes action. But I want to share a story with you guys about like the craziest story. One of the like biggest breakthrough moments of my life where this exact formula worked for me. And I want to take you through each of the pieces we just talked about because it could be really helpful to see how this works in a practical example. So you're like, okay. So, one of the moments that I decided, like, okay, it's time to be her. I decided, okay, it's time to go bigger. Okay, I need to go be a bigger version of myself. Literally, like Paige was saying, like, my content's changing lives. People want to hear from me. One of my favorite affirmations for a really long time was, my only job is to tell the people how to pay me. My only job every day is to tell the people how to pay me. And then obviously go follow up on what they're paying you for. But, like, duh, I don't need to tell you that. And so I was like, okay, I just need to go bigger. I'm gonna go be her now. And it was like the end of 2020, and I felt at a standstill in my business. Like I was at a standstill, I was making like 10, 15, 20K up and down all the time on repeat. And I felt like I was manifesting the same shit over and over and over again, which are incredible results, but like I don't want to stand still at any point in my life. Like if you're not growing, you're dying. So I was like, it's time to double down on what I call my it factor. Like what makes me stand out so much? What makes people like obsessed with me and magnetized to me? You all have your own it factor that makes people lean in and be like, say more right now. Like that is what your it factor does. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go be this version of myself. I'm going to go double down. And I decide, okay, now I have to show her. Now I have to go be impossible to ignore. I have to show up like I actually believe these new beliefs that I put into my brain. And so I started to double down on posting content that I was obsessed with. Let me know in the chat if you resonate with this, but I have gotten in phases of business where I'm posting content and I'm not obsessed with it. It's like I'm posting it to get it out. I'm posting it to show up that day. I'm posting it because I'm like, okay, like haven't posted on the feed in a few days, like just posting a fucking post. Or I bought some boring ass content program and I'm following some fucking stupid template and I'm like, let me plug in their template literally the fucking worst. So like I have been through phases, yes, to check off a box where I was just posting content I didn't love. So I was like, fuck that. I'm throwing it out the window. Again, I'm gonna be her. I'm gonna be this. And I'm gonna show up as her. So I started making content I was obsessed with that I loved, content I liked to watch and was fun to watch. I started to double down on my it factor and really be myself. I was posting 2 to 3 times a day, every day on TikTok. I started to share some of the things that I was nervous to talk about prior. I started to share a lot about spirituality and more of my beliefs and more of the magic side of things. And I have been nervous to talk about that because, like, I'm just a girl from Nebraska. Like, people thought I was fucking crazy when I started my business and started posting about manifestation. Okay. But I put myself out there as the example. And I was like, I already feel stagnant. What do I have to lose? What is the alternative? Like, you guys need to ask yourself those two questions way more, like on a monthly basis. What do I have to lose? Okay. And what's the alternative? What is the alternative is just me doing the same shit in the same place, also being bored? Like, no. Like, what do I have to lose? I have everything to gain. Oh, if I start posting content that people don't like, yeah, sure. What do I have to lose? Some followers. What do I have to gain? The most incredible clients that I actually want to work with, my fuck yes people. Okay. So I started to show up as her and I started to trust her. Again, what do I have to lose? What's the alternative? So I just started going balls to the walls. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to obsess over the analytics. I'm not going to obsess over the algorithm. Like, I'm just going to trust. I'm just going to trust that it's going to add up. And this is a really, really good takeaway for you guys. If I started to doubt that, because we all have doubts, right? Still to this day, I'll have a doubt moment. Anytime I would have a doubt, I would go make another video. If you implemented that one tip, your social media will blow up by the end of the year, you guys. Like anytime you have a doubt, just go take action in the opposite direction. Like, oh, like if I would literally think like, well, what if people don't like it? I would just go film another video. Like, great life hack, okay? Because I don't care if people don't like it. My people will like it. So I trusted her and I showed up and I acted. And then I invested. All of that was adding up and it was adding up and it was gaining momentum and I was getting followers and I was starting to get people. I started to wake up. This was my dream for so long. I started to wake up with people in my DMs being like, what can I join? How do I apply for one-to-one coaching? What program can I buy right now? What do you got to offer? And I was like, holy shit, this has been my dream my entire life in my business. Like wake up to DMs of like the most incredible people. And it started to happen. And I decided, okay, well, I need to keep going. I want to keep this going. How often are you only investing in yourself when things are going wrong? You're like, oh, well, like this isn't working, so I need to invest. Or like, I'm in a lull, so I need to invest in myself. Or like, oh, I have this problem and I don't really know how to deal with it. It's like, let me go hire somebody for that. And that's fine. I still do that. Like if there's something I want to fix, I'm going to go find that resource. But your life would start to 10x if you also invested because you want to keep momentum going. And I said, this is going somewhere. I need to pour gas on the fire. I'm telling you, so many people I knew when I first started my business are no longer in business. If you just keep going, you will win so much more than everybody else. And it's not a competition. Like you are truly in your own world and in your own bubble, but you will beat out so many people by pouring gas on the fire when everybody else is quitting. Okay. So I pour gas on the fire, invest in her. All right. So what I did invest in is I joined one program called Arate Syndicate, which is ran by Ed Milet and Andy Frisella, two mentors that I love and adore. And they only accepted 5% of the applicants, and I was one of them. I was in line in Zara about to do a clothing return when I got the email, and I screamed in line. And this line was so long. I was living in LA, and people just looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, there's crazier people in Los Angeles. Trust me. Me screaming about this acceptance letter is totally fine. So I got accepted and I joined that and I paid in full on the spot in line in Zara. I hired a one-on-one coach and I'm like, all right, we're pouring gas on the fire. And I booked a trip to film my documentary that I filmed. And what happened because I was following this formula, investing in myself and pouring gas on the fire, is that I jumped from the 10 to 15 to 20K months flowing back and forth. It would be on the higher end, the 20K side if I was doing a big launch. If it was like a normal month, it would just fluctuate. I went from that to doing over $60,000 a month at 23 years old. And I was like, what the actual fuck is happening? Like, I remember waking up and being like, holy shit, like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, that's what happens when you implement this formula. And it wasn't this overnight thing. It was, I'm going to decide, I'm going to be her. I'm going to show up as her. I'm going to trust and I'm going to invest and I'm going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to pour gas on the fire and I'm not going to let down because if I just keep going, I'm going to win. I'm going to beat out all these people. I'm going to win and I'm going to have a stockpile of momentum. Okay. And now we're building business to 100K months. Okay. But that will be another masterclass for another time. Okay. But it is just so that bitch goals. It's just, this is an example, a real life example of what happened to me because I said, I'm done manifesting the same shit on repeat. And I actually did something about it. Like, this is what happens.
Yeah, that's so good. I didn't know about the line in where'd you say was it Zara or where were you at?
I was in Zara.
I didn't know
Yeah.
about the line. That's incredible. I knew you were in the program. But yeah, like, and the thing is, if you look at that, like, if you listen to that, there's so many times, not only did she, obviously, she was her, like, that be her, and then she showed her, and then she trusted her, but then she invested and invested and invested in who she was becoming, not who she is, not who she was like in the beginning, but who she was becoming because she knew that this was not something like our brain plays tricks on us a lot. Our brain is going to try to get us to the safest route all the time. So imagine if she would not have risked it and invested in herself and done the scary ass things. Imagine how much like she probably would not be where she is today. I don't know. She kind of takes psycho crazy actions all the time, but I'm probably not
It
right.
would be, I would probably be here, but the path would look different because that's exactly what you were talking about is you expect things to work, you expect the content to hit, you expect the sales. And yeah, I'm gonna take action and be that bitch now. Like it was like I was spending crazy amounts of money. The RTA Syndicate program with Ed and Andy at the time was $5,555. Yes, they charged an angel number. I love that so much because it's Andy and Ed and they're charging angel numbers, at least at the time. I invested over 5K with them. The one-on-one coach that I had, it was $4,500 per month of a commitment that I signed up for. And then I booked a round trip first class flight to Paris with an Eiffel Tower view. I dumped money on it because I trusted where I was going. And I would have gotten there at some point or another. I always say this about mindset too. It's like you can get there by being negative, not working on your beliefs. Like you're still going to get what you want if you have that work ethic, but you're not going to enjoy the process. There are millionaires and billionaires out there who are unhappy people. They can still reach their goals. You don't always have to be happy and regulated, but who the fuck wants to do that? I was like, I want support. I'm done raw dogging life. I want support. I'm not DIYing anymore. Like, I'm going to do this to the fullest. I'm going to film a documentary in Paris. I'm going to get the support. Things are growing, and I'm not going to stay still. I'm not. And so that's why I got there so much faster than a lot of other people. And it's like Paige is saying, it's like I would be there. It just probably would have taken a lot longer and looked a lot less iconic.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with mine, obviously, I haven't been in business as long as Mikayla has and doing all the manifestation things, but I can tell you over the last year, but especially within the last couple of months, like the manifestations and all of that, by doing this work and by being her and showing her and trusting her and investing in her has had me have manifestations. This included, this masterclass, by the way, is a manifestation for me included, like that I never would have dreamed. And honestly, a big part of that was, I'm sure you guys saw, Mikayla had a VIP weekend in Florida a couple weeks ago. We did a little birthday fun. That was me and Jazz were there. We had our birthdays on the same day. So we did a little birthday stuff. Although I didn't get to enjoy all the birthday surprises because I was doing 75 hard, but it's fine. But
You're almost done at RGR.
exactly. I'm done on Friday. Friday's my last day of 75 hard.
Yeah.
So I'll be good. But I actually had to work the weekend of Florida, like of this trip, right? I had to work this weekend and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out because I am her. I'm going to be her and I'm just going to decide and trust this is all gonna work out. save a spot for me. Don't give it away. I gotta go figure this out, right? So I figured it out. I switched weekends, which by the way, I didn't even have to work my weekend that I switched because I ended up getting an email when I came back that said, hey, by the way, we don't need you to work this weekend. Can you just work a regular weekday? Which, hello, manifestation within itself. But I got the weekend switched, right? Manifested that time off. As soon we were on a call and I told Mikayla, hey, by the way, I just bought this. As soon as I bought that, as soon as I invested in myself and I went all in this next level energy, I had a notification that a new client came in and bought a new program of mine literally within 20 minutes because I was in this next level energy, because I knew who I was, because I invested in who I like into my next level. And universe said, hell yes, you did. Here's your return. Because I have a belief in myself in this next level identity that says, hey, whatever you, when you invest in yourself, you get it back multiplied. And so I did. And so I got an investment back, right? Someone else invested in me all on the same call. Exactly. It was within 20 minutes. All on the same call. Then I decided, you know what? The hot rich and that bitch version of me would have a VIP dinner with Mikayla. So I reached out. She had a spot available, but little did I know until later that that spot wasn't available at first. It was actually someone else's spot, and she couldn't do it because the driving, I don't know, something happened. But anyway, I manifested that spot. The spot for the extra VIP dinner down in Florida because again, I decided who I was. I decided that I was going to trust my instinct. When I don't know about you guys, maybe it's a mom gut thing, but I have such strong intuition about like such a strong like gut, I guess, that says like, hey, this is the right decision, and it will not leave me alone until I do something about it. And when I saw that she had this extra bonus of doing like extra add-on of doing this VIP dinner, I was like, I can't, I shouldn't, I don't know. It was my old me talking. It was my old energy talking. It was my old identity talking. I could not get it out of my head. And so I did it. And you know what happened? We decided on that VIP, like the dinner, to have this call. I manifested this call with Mikayla in this moment. You guys would not be here on this call if it wasn't for me investing in myself and going that extra mile of that hot rich and that bitch energy, right? I did that. We came up with like a whole plan. I have like a whole bunch of notes. I was like eating, like shoving a cheeseburger in my mouth and trying not to get grease all over my notepad. She was like, why are you cutting your cheeseburger like that? And I'm like, I'm trying not to get grease everywhere, okay? I'm not this fancy. I just don't want grease all over my stuff. But I got to dress up and wear heels and all of this. I fully, because I was in a different environment, I got to wear heels and the dress and got to fully embody me instead of the mom version of me that cannot wear heels. First of all, I'm taller than my husband as it is, and then you wear heels on top of it, and that just doesn't work. And then kids, they literally attack you. So heels, no, not a vibe at home. So like I also got to dress in my energy, so I was feeling in my energy, and I was in the environment of my like this next level energy in the environment of someone who has created what I know that I'm meant to create, not what I want to create, but I know that I'm going to create. There's a difference there, right? There's a difference in energy there. My energy changed so much just being in that environment, right? And so much so that when I came back, people started commenting on it. Like, Paige, you just like, there's just something different about you. There's just something different. I can just feel it. I don't know what it is exactly, but I can feel it. I can tell. It's almost like you know who you are now. It's almost like it's this like calm energy of like you're still like that girl. You still have that fire and passion, but like I don't know. There's just something different. It's because I went all in on myself and I know that I'm that girl, I'm that bitch, and that I'm creating this next level life because I trusted myself enough to go all in, to invest in myself, to trust myself, to be that girl, right? To exude that confidence. That's what I got to do. And then while we were down there, there was a 3-hour photo shoot. I had when I came back, there was a reel of mine that popped off for me. I got multiple new followers from it. Like almost every day now, I've had new followers, not necessarily just because of that one, but just in general, like because I'm in this new energy. Because I did all of those things that we talked about. Like I was her. I decided to be her. I showed her online. The reel that popped off was me talking about how I was becoming a millionaire in my mind. And that like that was something that was so scary for me to talk about because I am not a millionaire right now. Not even close in the 3D world one day, right? But like that's scary for you to admit, especially when it's going to Facebook and your family and your friends are gonna see, and what are they gonna say? I don't know, right? But I decided to show her anyway because that's who I'm becoming. I trusted my decision, my gut decision to invest in myself to go to Florida. Also, I was the first one to invest in myself in Rich Girl Renaissance. I'm just saying. I
The
was the,
first sign up.
I was the first sign up of Rich Girl Renaissance because I trusted. I not only trusted, I was so close. Beat you. I not only trusted Mikayla and what she was putting on, but also I trusted myself to know that this was like I had this pull. I remember I was sitting in bed and I was like, "Babe, are you? Is it okay?" He was like, "I don't care." He's so used to me investing in myself at this point. He's like, "Go for it." I'm like, "Okay, thanks." Done. Right? I trusted myself to do that, and then I invested in myself over and over and over again, and it's led to all of us being here, and it's led to me really continually creating this life that I'm just so freaking excited about.
That's the impact of getting out of your environment. So many of you are leaving your next level identity in your journal. And you look at people online, people maybe you know in life, or people you listen to their podcasts, and you're like, they're just like going for it and they're out and about. Like, how do they have these results? And they're just like blowing up. And it's because they get out of their environment. Yeah, I've seen the change in you, Paige. You guys, if only you knew the things I know about Paige. I'm like, it's so much has shifted. That was like 4 weeks ago. Things can change so much faster than you possibly think because of the decisions that you make. If I had stayed in Nebraska around the same people in the same place in the same conversations, nobody around me getting it, nobody understanding, not as much room to grow, like I wouldn't have these quantum leaps. It's so easy to stay at home and be like, well, I'm working on myself and I'm still, I'm still changing my identity and I'm still doing the mindset work and I'm still showing up and taking action. Absolutely. And that's exactly what I did. But the difference is at the beginning of my business, I was investing in myself and I was getting in the room. And then I would go home and I would do that work. It's like, one thing that I realized actually, and this is super interesting, I was reflecting on this before this masterclass, is that I was growing in my home environment in Nebraska, in my room, in my journal, doing all the things, right? I was growing, but it was my version of slow growth because I knew I wanted so badly to move. I wanted to live by the ocean. I wanted to be in LA. I wanted to travel to Bali. I wanted to be out and about in the world. I wanted to blow up my business. And so I just felt a little bit trapped in my environment. Has anybody ever felt that way? And like sometimes you just feel a little boxed in, but there's nothing you can change in that moment sometimes. Like I was still in college, I was still in university. So like I did end up dropping out, fast forward, but I was in school, so I couldn't at the time move. Right. But so I was like, oh, I'm growing so slow. And like, ugh, I just want to break free. Yes, yes, yes. And what I realized is that my growing slow in that environment was leaps and bounds to everybody around me. I was growing slow about what I felt was slow because I knew the big vision I had, like Paige knowing what she's going to be building, what she is building. It's like, okay, so I know how big it is and like this is taking forever. But to my friends, my family, my coworkers, anybody that was around, they were like, "Oh my gosh, you've changed so much. This is crazy. Like you are just always doing something." And to me, I felt like I was in a box. Like I didn't want to stay in an environment where my growing slow was somebody's leaps and bounds. I wanted to be in a room where there were high standards as the standard. High standards were the bare minimum. That's where I wanted to be. I wanted growth to be fast, to be rapid, to not even be a question. Like, not even be a question. I would sit down in Nebraska. I remember one time being at my apartment pool and sitting down with somebody and they're like, "Well, like how do you just like always want to do something different? Like how do you like want to wake up early?" And I wanted to drown myself in the pool after that question. Like I was like, I don't want to be in a conversation with somebody who doesn't even want to grow. It's so easy for you to just like do all that work in your journal, tell your best friend who's probably your ride or die, so supportive, the most expansive person around you they should be. But it's another thing to step into a room where a high standard is the bare minimum. Growth is not a question. Everybody around you is off doing the next thing, and you're like, holy shit. Like a special type of transformation takes place inside of you when you get in the room. And that's exactly what Paige has been experiencing. Can I retweet all of this? OMG. I know, right? Bring back old Twitter. Bring back, this is might really age me, even though I'm not very old. Throw back to when you could text Facebook and that would like post your status. Do you guys remember that? I'm like, that was so like open my flip phone, text a status update on Facebook. Iconic. I feel old. There's a magical thing that happens when you step into a room where those are the standards. And that's what Paige got to experience. That's what I experienced from the beginning of my business. Even before I launched my business, I joined an $8,000 mastermind. I was 20 years old, did not have that money. I was just like delusional faith. I'm gonna make the money and make the payment every month. Like I'll do whatever it takes. And I wanted to be in that mastermind because there was a retreat in Hawaii and it changed my life. When I went to this retreat, you guys, I had like $20 in my bank account. I like spent the rest of my money on my flight to Hawaii. I was in a middle seat in the back of the plane, like like group boarding nine. I didn't even think I was going to eat for the weekend. Like I remember I had a layover in Dallas and from Nebraska, and I was like, I gotta go to Starbucks to get my last rationed iced coffee. Like I am gonna be skinny when I get home. I'm gonna have coffee. Like this was my last Starbucks, and I was like, I actually had to like pay rent afterwards, like a week after that, and I needed to pay for a coaching payment. And I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna pay for any of this, but I am going to this fucking retreat in Hawaii. It was the first time I was ever staying at the Ritz-Carlton, and I was just like, I have to be there. I decided I knew who I needed to be. I started to show up as her. I was making content the whole time I was there. I was trusting, literally delusionally trusting. And I was investing. I was still paying to be there. And while I was there, I ended up actually, I was supposed to be heading back. I hadn't made any money while I was on the trip. I was in the airport, ready to fly back. And I'm like, okay, now I really got to figure out rent. Like, no clue what I'm going to do there. Luckily, my coach fed me while we were in Hawaii. So I did eat, by the way. Just so you have some closure there. I did have coffee and I did eat. I had gotten booted off the flight. There was a storm and there was too much weight in the plane. So us group boarding nine people, us peasants, we got booted. And I felt like a peasant. But I just sat there in the airport and I'm like, I'm gonna have to sleep in the airport. Like I don't have money for a hotel. And then they told us the airport was not 24/7. And I was like, I'm gonna be sleeping on the streets of Hawaii. Like, I guess I'll sleep on the beach. Like, sure, me and my little Kate Spade bag, like, just gonna sleep on the beach. But then they rebooked me for a flight the next day at 6 p.m. So I was like, score. I just manifested another day in Hawaii. Again, delusional. And they're like, we're gonna put you in a hotel for the inconvenience. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna sleep on the streets of Hawaii. This is amazing. And they gave us vouchers for taxi. So I didn't even have to pay for my car to the hotel. And I was like, I am the luckiest motherfucker on the planet. And I'm like stuffing all of these little tickets in my passport. And I'm like, this is the best day of my life. Like, I was supposed to go back to school that day. And I'm like, I can't go to class. I'm in Hawaii. Sorry, y'all. Like, and also by the time they rebooked me, I was one of the last people. So the only hotel they had left was a 5-star resort on the beach. It's like, thank you, God. Like, this is the best day of my life. So I'm stuffing all this in my passport and I'm like, I'm so lucky. Yay. I'm like, thank you so much. And then they go, okay, how would you like your compensation? Do you want $1,500 in airline credits or do you want a check for $1,325 right now? And I go, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, can you say that again? Say more right now. Like, say more right now. And they wrote me a check for $1,300, which covered the exact amount of my rent and my coaching payment the next week. And I got a free extra day in Hawaii, and they upgraded me to like economy plus for my flight back. And that was just a manifestation for being there, just because of my energy. But then when I went back to the airport the next day, I also signed another client. And then I took what I learned at the actual retreat. It was a business retreat. And 3 months later, had my first 5-figure month in business because I got in a room where the high standards were the bare minimum, where I could change my energy, change my environment, and I stopped being a wet fucking paper towel in my home, in my journal, around a limited environment. Before that, I literally felt like a wet paper towel floating through the wind that got stuck on the bottom of a dumpster. Like I'm in a tiny, very dingy apartment in Nebraska. I would do something even like before that moment, before committing to that mastermind and going on that retreat, before that, I would do something outside of my comfort zone and then I would like take it back. Have you guys ever done that? You're like, okay, I'm gonna do something really uncomfortable. And then you're like, just kidding, too uncomfortable. Never mind. You're like, I'm gonna commit to something like for the next 30 days, I'm going ham. And then you do like 5 days, and then you're like, I hope nobody asks me about that ever again. And you like change your mind because you're like, ooh, mm. Actually, remember I had a moment like this in January. I was running a challenge called R Squared. A lot of my clients have been in it. It's such a great challenge. And I was like, all right, we're locking in. We're doing our power list together. And I got desperately ill. And then I was like, fuck, I still have to show up and tell people I failed because I was sick on my own challenge. But it's like, but I'm not going to hide from that. I'm actually going to own it and say, I'm restarting. I'm in this with you guys. And this is out of my comfort zone because I had to fail on something. And I'm like the no excuses queen. But like, I'm going to lean in. A wet paper towel version of you leans out. She hides, she avoids. And I just didn't even realize how much of a wet paper towel I had been before I started getting in the room with people where that just like wasn't even an option. That's why I could do a challenge and say, hey, this is uncomfortable, but I actually failed and I'm gonna restart while you guys are actually ahead of me. Like I could only do that because I got in rooms where that was a new standard. Where I got in rooms where being a victim just like was not gonna work. Nobody wants to hear a victim story and a victim mindset when you're out creating big dreams, when you're out being hot, rich, and that bitch. Okay. So I need you to really think about, have I just been in the same room? Have I just been in the same environment? I'm looping the hot, rich, and that bitch version of me on repeat. The same identity, the same vision board. I might do slants out of my comfort zone from time to time. I'm not pouring gas on the fire. Like sometimes I take it back. Sometimes I'm not believing. Sometimes I'm not listening to the intuitive nudges that Paige mentioned. Sometimes I'm being a victim. Sometimes I maybe even admitting to yourself that sometimes you like being the big fish in a little pond. It's okay to feel that way sometimes. Like it's like a little ego of like, well, I'm growing the fastest out of everybody I know. But like, wouldn't it feel so much more powerful to be around a bunch of bad bitches that are like growing fast as fuck, where like that's just the normal and it's no longer like, I'm doing this. And that's exactly why I decided to host my event this year, Rich Girl Renaissance Live. Who here is coming to Rich Girl Renaissance Live? Put it in the chat. RGR in the chat. I decided to host Rich Girl Renaissance Live, and if you're not, you need to join. Maybe Paige can drop a link for you guys. If you're not coming, you need to come. Don't be a wet paper towel and get in the room, okay? RGR, RGR. I've never heard of it. We're going to tell you all about it, Kelly. Don't you worry. I'm new here. So happy to have you. I decided to host Rich Girl Renaissance Live because I wanted to create a room where high standards were the bare minimum, where, Paige can spend a day and a half with me and with the other women in my community and completely change their life. My client Sammy here, who is here, has come to so many of my retreats, has made best friends, changed her entire life from being in the room. Like, if you get in the room, everything changes. Like I said, it just brings this sparkle about you that you can't replicate online and you can't replicate in your small current environment. And I wanted to host Rich Girl Renaissance Live because I couldn't find an event that I wanted. I couldn't find an event that actually did that for me anymore. I wanted an event where you would walk away with an actual game plan to go make more money, with a game plan of what to do with your content, a game plan to actually normalize the standards and go become a new, bigger version of yourself. I wanted to go to an event where I could collaborate with people and we all go home a brand new bitch. I wanted to be around hot, rich, and that bitch type people. I wanted to be around people that I actually wanted to collaborate with. And that's something that I love about my business. All of my clients love to work together. They love to collaborate. They're in each other's programs. They're working. It's incredible. It's one of my favorite things. I wanted to create an event that was going to be fun, but also time for content where you go and you don't just get inspired, but you get a game plan. You are acting in the game plan. You're taking action on the game plan that weekend, and you go home a completely different person. Every retreat I've gone to, I have gone home a completely different person. And I didn't get the same effects from events. So I realized I had to stop being a victim about it and go make my own. That was actually going to do it. You guys, let me just tell you one horror story about an event, just very briefly. And then I'm going to toss it back over to Paige. But I went to this one event that I really thought was going to be that for me. And this is why I had to make my own events. I was like, this is going to be it. This is going to be like a breakthrough. This is going to be crazy, blah, blah, blah. And when I was there, I was meeting people and it was really cool. It was really cool. But you could tell some of the people there just didn't have the same standards. They were like asking me coaching questions at the event because I actually was a one-on-one client of the coach holding the events. They were like, oh my gosh. They were like, you're so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I am. But like, let's chat. Um, and there was one girl I met at this event and we were sitting next to each other and we followed each other on Instagram. She's like, I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick. She ran to the bathroom. She came back. She sat right next to me. We had just met 5 minutes prior. And she goes, yeah, so I would really love to be on your podcast. Because she had followed me on Instagram, saw that I had or I don't know if I had 5 million downloads at the time, but 5 million downloads, went to the bathroom, stalked my page, came back and just cold pitched me. And I was like, this is not the vibe. This is not the standard where you're just being cold pitched for somebody who just wants something. I need to be in a space where you're winning, I'm winning, we're elevating, we're bad bitches, the standards are high, we're building actual relationships and actual collaboration so we can all blow the fuck up and make millions. And sitting there next to somebody who cold pitched me because they stalked my Instagram for 5 minutes hiding in the bathroom, I was like, something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. And so I decided to take a batshit crazy action and host Rich Girl Renaissance Live this year, which is a 4-day conference mastermind style weekend in September in Dallas, Texas. And you absolutely need to be there. If you've been feeling like you are manifesting the same shit on repeat in your business and in your content, if you've been being this wet paper towel, I love you so much, but you've got to get into a bigger room. You've got to get into a room where after 12 hours, you're an entirely different person. That's what Paige got to experience here in Florida. It's going to be insane when we're in Dallas. It's one of the craziest things that I've ever done. It's a manifestation in myself. And I just know you guys are going to walk out a completely different version of yourself. And it's all because you decided to take the formula and invest in her and be her. Like that's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And I love too, like, this isn't just like a networking event. Like, that's boring. That's not what this is. This is about
Yeah.
being in the room, being in the energy of not just like, I was in the energy of Mikayla and two other women down in Florida. This is about being in the energy of like a shit ton more than that. Okay. Women that are so excited, so passionate about their business in their hot rich and that bitch energy. Like imagine how much different that's going to be. And also, she sent out the what's that called? The guide or whatever, like this everything that's happening. Holy shit, you guys. I was reading it. I was like, oh my gosh, I love all of this. I'm so excited. Like it's absolutely like jam-packed, absolutely incredible. It's gonna be so much fun. But I actually have my own little like manifestation story around Rich Girl Renaissance, which I know is kind of crazy since it hasn't even happened yet. But I actually I have been someone, I made a vision board. It's the same one that I had last year. It's still on my phone screen right now. And one of the things that was on my phone screen was a bunch of women like all on the floor because it was the only thing I could think of for like retreat, right? I don't know. It just was like it came up on Pinterest that said retreat, right? And so I had that. And it's been on my vision board for probably about 2 years now. And I got the opportunity to not only go to Rich Girl Renaissance, but now I'm hosting my own retreat at Rich Girl Renaissance. And it's my first retreat, and it makes it so much more special because it's something that I've always wanted to do. But now I get this extra vibe of Rich Girl Renaissance on top of it. That's going to be absolutely incredible. I already have some amazing women in there. I've been looking at Airbnbs, and it's absolutely incredible because the thing is not only are we going to be in the energy of this Rich Girl Renaissance, like all of the speakers, Mikayla as the speaker, like the energy there, but then you get to go back and you get to actually be in the room in a close-knit group with women who are like, okay, let's figure out what we learned today and let's actually apply it, right? And so the fact that like this gets to be my manifestation on top of my own manifestation of going to this amazing conference is absolutely insane to me. And so I would love to invite you guys along for the ride with me. I would love to invite you guys to be part of that manifestation for me. So that way I can be a part of, how many times can I say manifestation? So I could be a part of your manifestation too, right? And so with this retreat, listen, we are doing so many things. I'm just going to include some of them here. Like there is going to be morning movement. There's going to be a nightly debrief where we are going to go through and figure out, okay, what the hell did we just learn? You know, when you go to conferences or when you go to things and it's like mind overload. Like even maybe you're feeling this here. We're almost at the 2 hour mark and you're probably like, holy shit, mind overload. What do I do with this? Like you're going to be able to do something with it because we're all going to be together to make sure that we are going through and being like, what did you learn? What did you learn? What did you miss? Let's figure this out. And how can we actually apply this to who we're becoming? Actually apply this to this, like this next level us, right? To apply it to who we are. So the nightly debriefs, the bonus workshops and masterminding things that I'm working on right now, this masterminding time. So that way you can actually show off your shit, like show off your stuff. If you are, I know I have some women in there right now that are like nutrition coaches or health coaches and things like that. Like you get to show your shit. So it's an actual like masterminding time on top of it. Of course, if you've been here this whole time, you know I love my identity work. So we're going to be doing identity work, workouts, like I said, showing off what you're good at, goodie bags, because I want to spoil the shit out of you and make it the best experience possible. Being in the room, not just the room at RGR, but the room, a smaller room of like close-knit girls to be able to upgrade your life, like women who are able or wanting to upgrade their life and their content too. You literally, with this retreat, get double the experience because you get content and identity upgrade, which is like complete magic. And I'm sure we're going to have identity upgrade conversations within the retreat, within the Rich Girl Renaissance Live as well. But now you get it in multiple places. I have so much content, you guys, from just a day and a half that I still haven't used all of it. Like when I went down to Florida, I'm going to be down there for 5 days, I think. Can you even imagine how much content there is going to be? Like, it's going to be absolutely insane. So, having the retreat on top of the event is where the magic will be ultimately, because each night we're going to have time, like I said, to debrief the day, come together, have dinner, have a glass of wine, possibly because I'm done with 75 hard after after Friday. Have a glass of wine, maybe. Like I said, debrief and compare notes. So that way, every single day, you are taking away something tangible, some tangible advice, some tips, some strategies, or something like that maybe someone else got that you didn't write down. So that way we can all kind of collaborate together with that. Plus, it's always fun to be with a bunch of girls to be able to like just be in the vibe, create the content, get excited, not be overwhelmed when you go back to your room alone and being like, holy shit, what just happened? What just happened? And what is my life? And can I even do this? And who am I? And is this even possible for me? And why did I get like going in your brain? You know, when you get back from something and you do something really scary and you're doing all of these things and you have all this information overload, and then you get in the room by yourself and you're like, I have no idea what just happened. And then you do nothing with it. We don't want that. We don't want that at Rich Girl Renaissance. We don't want that at all. We actually want this to be something where you take away from it and be like, I have so much shit and I am ready to freaking go. Right. So when you are going, no wet paper towel energy. Yes. When you're going to a conference like this by yourself, which Florida was the first time I ever flew by myself, the first time I went to a conference by myself. What's going to happen when you go back to the room by yourself? You're going to get in your head, right? You're going to overthink. Your environment affects or determines your identity. It just does. My environment here in my hometown affects my identity. And so getting out of the room, out of my environment where I'm at right now, and getting into the room of a bunch of amazing women who only want to see me succeed and who only want to see themselves succeed and is this like high vibe energy, that's where we need to be at. Because your environment determines or affects your identity. So by yourself means that you're going back to your thoughts, your old identity thoughts, your fears, all of those things. And we don't want that for you. We want to be in this constant high vibe place. So what better way to do that than go into a retreat that has the Airbnb supplied for you? By the way, didn't make that super clear. You have the Airbnb supplied for you. You don't have to get a hotel room. You're going to Rich Girl Renaissance. You don't have to worry about the hotel room. You don't have to worry about who should I room with? Who are these people? I don't know. You come in, you get the Airbnb, which by the way, the Airbnbs I've been looking at have been like chef's kiss, so freaking amazing. You get the Airbnb, you get extra content there, all of those things, maybe a hot tub, maybe a pool. On top of all of that, not having to worry about anything, get to ride an Uber together to the actual event, community, friends, and all of this vibes, right? And so you get to stay in the energy. That's what we're doing in the Airbnb at the retreat, right? When you go back to a place of like with a community of women who are actually going to be able to support you, who are actually going to do the work, that's going to take you to the next level. That's going to actually make, like, when you invest in yourself with this, investing in yourself, it's scary, right? It's a scary thing. But imagine that you have, like, you already know that you're going to have a shit ton of people supporting you when you get there. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Plus, the Airbnb is going to be incredible, but that's beside the point. It's a no-brainer. So we have to be able to, like, when you get your ticket at the, what is that? The Sweet Life, right?
Great life.
Yeah, the Sweet Life level, which is the top level, because I want women who are determined to be their next level self. I don't want women in their wet paper towel energy. I want women ready to freaking go that are like, I'm all in. You have to decide if your next level identity is an all in type of bitch. And if that's you, then I want you at my retreat. I want to be in the environment, in the energy of all in type of women, right? And that's what we're doing. Yes, Diana Lynn is going to be there. Laura's going to be there. It's going to be amazing. So you are going to be in the room with people who are going all in, right? And so you also have different things. I don't know if you're wanting me to go through all the rest of them as well of what else they're going to get, or if you have.
I think that you guys should just join the Sweet Life and get Paige's retreat. But there are three different ticket tiers for the Rich Girl Renaissance experience, and that will, kind of decide how long you are there. If you get the Sweet Life ticket, you get everything included. And when you join the Sweet Life through Paige's link that we've put into the chat for you, you're going to get her retreat completely for free. Now, one thing that's very, very important for you to know is that there are only 4 spots left for the Sweet Life total. So there are only 4 spots left to join Paige's retreat. And those are definitely going to go because everybody's wanting to upgrade and everybody wants to be there the full weekend. Of course, you want to have that full experience. Yes, the Sweet Life, baby. So many of my girls here who are coming are all Sweet Life. So I'm so excited for that. And we get all of this time together. So Paige has other incredible bonuses for you, but the Sweet Life is where you're getting the full experience, the full retreat you're getting in the room. And I think it's very important to emphasize the idea of you go to the conference during the day. We're there, we're masterminding, we're working through a lot. And when you go back to just your hotel room alone, that's when your self-sabotage kicks back in. That's when the wet paper towel energy kicks in. Like Paige said, you overthink, then you're like, oh my gosh, well, like, okay, what do I do now? And it's so easy to go back into your room and hide, doing something uncomfortable and then shying away from it. Being all in and then be like, okay, I'm actually just going to rest. But when you go to Paige's retreat, you get to debrief and implement and take time to post your content that day. Like my goal for you is to get content and post content and make money all in the same weekend. And what ends up happening a lot of times when people go to events is that doesn't happen because they go back to their room, they just call their man, they watch TV, they order DoorDash, and then the content stays in their camera roll. So when you join the retreat, you're automatically in an environment where high standards is the bare minimum. where you're actually making money and implementing on the spot and you're leaning into what is uncomfortable. So, like I said, she has other incredible bonuses for you guys that you get, but it is super important that you know there's only 4 spots left for you to join Paige's retreat. And I also have some fast action bonuses that I would like to share with you as well. If you decide after this masterclass to join Rich Girl Renaissance Live, get your ticket through Paige within the next 48 hours. So you need to get your ticket by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. and we'll send you follow-up emails to remind you, of course. But when you join within the next 48 hours, you are getting a personalized social media audit from me. One of my talents is that I can look at your page, whether it's your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, whatever your preferred platform is, and I can immediately see what's missing and tell you about it so you can go make more sales. I can immediately spot, like, okay, this is where we need to add more sales content. This is why people aren't buying. This is how people don't know you. You don't have a culture. Like, I can spot these gaps that you have where you could be making more money right now. So and this is something that I hardly ever offer because I'm going to be making a video for you, personalizing it, going through your page. So you have that video to go through and revise. Now, a lot of my girls who joined Rich Girl Renaissance earlier got these audits in our mini mind, and they were incredible for people to then go and implement and get the customization. So if you join in the next 48 hours, you are getting that from me. Now, if you join by Sunday, that's for our fast action takers. Decide and go, decide and go. If you join by Sunday at midnight, you are getting access to all of the recorded modules of my 3-week intensive social media millionaire mini mind, which if you have your ticket to Rich Girl Renaissance, a lot of you here got the mini mind. Let us know in the comments. It was so insane. How did you guys like that experience? For 3 weeks, we locked the fuck in on your social media. It was insane. It was so good. On that call, on all of those calls, we did 8 calls in 3 weeks. It's literally insane. It's a full course. We mapped out a social media game plan that makes you impossible to ignore. And when you join and get your ticket for Rich Girl Renaissance Live by Sunday, you're getting that so you can binge watch these trainings, implement, and that will get you set up coming into the event. So your social media is on point the moment you enter the room, and we do it all without overwhelm. Like, you are pretty much impossible to ignore because we go through each platform and how to make you visible without making you create 20 different pieces of content. Okay. So it is really important you know there are limited spots for Paige's retreat because there's limited spots for that ticket tier for us for the event. If you join by Thursday, you are getting the social media audit. And if you join by Sunday at the latest, you're getting the social media mini mind recordings.
Now, just to specify, when you get is the 2 bonuses, is that for any tier? Because there's 3 different tier tickets, or is that for just
Yes, that'll be for any tier. So if you decide I'm going to go, but I'm just going to start signature, we love you and I can't wait to see you and to hug you. You will get those bonuses as well for all tiers.
Yeah, and I have extra bonuses too. We're running out of time, but I have extra bonuses too for all tiers. But obviously, the Sweet Life tier is where it's at because we are going to have so much fun at the retreat. It's going to be so freaking amazing. So, and there's also, if you decide, if you've already gotten your ticket and you want the retreat, then you can always upgrade. If you didn't get the Sweet Life, you can always upgrade, and we can get you a link for that as well.
Yes, this is going to be so incredible. I know we've been here for a long time. If you have any questions about Rich Girl Renaissance Live, message me or message Paige. But if you want the retreat, make sure you're getting Paige's link because that was all going to be done through her. And if you have any questions about the event, what ticket tier is right for you, feel free to reach out. I am happy to help you decide and happy to help you make that leap so you can go step into your hot, rich, and that bitch self now. Like, we are done manifesting the same shit on repeat. We're done procrastinating. We're done doing the same thing in the same environment with the same people in the same conversations. Like, done.
Yep. Yep. And I think the last thing, just when you are thinking about whether or not you want to invest and your old identity is coming in telling you, I don't know, maybe not, I don't know, can we figure it out? Can we figure out the kid situation? Can we figure out like maybe work situation or blah blah, I don't know, should I invest in myself? All of these thoughts are, and we have tattoos, yes, all of these thoughts are going to be going through your brain, all of them. It happens when you're trying to invest in yourself, especially in the beginning. But what I want you to do and what I challenge you with is to think about it in your next level identity. What would next level you do? What would millionaire me do? Millionaire me would invest the money because I know what it's worth, right? Believe that you are worthy of investing in yourself. Believe that you are worthy and like this next level, just you as a human of who you are right now, but even your next level identity is worthy of investing in yourself because you are. And that's the biggest thing is take it out of like who is talking to me right now? Is it my ego talking of saying, "Oh, you can't do this?" Or is it your gut? Because if your gut is pulling you towards investing in yourself, if your gut is pulling you towards seeing us all at Rich Girl Renaissance Live, that's what you need to listen to. Because what happens after, where it's like, but, that's the ego coming in, and that's your old identity trying to save the day, even though you don't need saving because you're hot, rich, and that bitch, and you don't need any saving.
No, you don't. But you do need to go to the next fucking level or you're going to feel dead inside.
Yep.
Because I've been there so many times. Don't let the fear win. There's always going to be a but. There's always going to be an excuse. It's always going to be the wrong time. There's always going to be a reason not to. I mean, Paige has a full-time job, children, husband, living in a completely different state. Almost everybody coming is traveling in. I'm traveling in. I live in Florida, but we're going to Dallas. Like, there's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be a reason not to if you want to find it. But are you going to let the excuses win or are you going to let your next level self win? That's a decision you have to make. And that impacts your future and how much success that you are going to have. It's all a choice.
Perfect. Perfect.
This has been incredible, you guys. Okay. I am open in the DMs if you need anything, if you have questions, if anybody has their ticket and you would like to upgrade, feel free to message me or Paige. We have a special, obviously separate link to upgrade your ticket. I am so excited as we keep rolling out all of the information for Rich Girl Renaissance Live. We obviously just dropped our guest guide. So when you join, you get the full itinerary and it is insane. I'm so excited. I just announced that we have a pop-up tattoo artist coming night one, which is so exciting. You can't see it on here, but I am covered in tattoos. We have an incredible fine line artist coming and she has got an amazing bundle. And we're making, me and her are literally making Rich Girl Renaissance like flash tattoos. It won't say Rich Girl Renaissance. It might say Mikayla J if you feel like getting my name, but just kidding. We're making special tattoos for the event. And soon we'll be rolling out the speakers. And the only hint I'm going to give you so far for a speaker is one of the speakers is somebody I love very much, who is a two-time reality TV star turned full-time podcaster, and it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. So if you're tired, if you are ready to blow up on social media and really talk about being seen, being yourself, you need to be there. It's going to be amazing.
And I don't know any of the speakers. I am not in the loop with all of this, but I'm so excited. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
I'm so pumped. Thank you guys for spending 2 hours with us. I know it was a long call. I love you all so much. This has been so valuable. This is something to listen to on repeat. This is something to really remind yourself of. Like, listen to this over and over again. Follow the formula. Yes, you're so welcome because what happens when you implement the formula? I mean, we shared those success stories with you here, and I really, really look forward to seeing you in Dallas in about a month at Rich Girl Renaissance Live and getting to hug you and chat with you. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in my DMs and celebrating with you when you get your ticket.
Yes. Thank you guys. See you
Thank
soon.
you, everybody. Good night.